Hey there, podcast lovers. Looking for a fresh take on the world? Tune into Nikki's World, where we dive into everything hitting the headlines and chat about just what's on our minds. No filters, just real talk. Whether you're sipping your morning coffee or unwinding after a long day, Nikki's World is your go-to for genuine commentary on the real world. Subscribe now if you want to hear the real deal on what's going on. Join the conversation on Nikki's World, where every episode feels like catching up with an old friend. Don't miss out.
What's up, y'all? Let's do this.
Oh, hi guys, welcome to Nikki's World. I'm Nikki, your host, and today, guys, we're going to talk about the incoming chimp out with the welfare class come November 1st. If the government shutdown continues, we're going to talk about that and so much more. But before we go any further, guys, if you guys love Nikki's World so much, seriously, y'all, can you please consider donating a cup of coffee for me? Because for the price of a cup of coffee at Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, and Cumberland Farms, guys, you guys help keep this podcast show alive. You guys help me curate more stories, more topics like this to talk about. I do accept Bitcoin donations. I am on Ko-fi, guys. If you guys want to support, sponsor, donate, and tip to Nikki's World. If you guys love Nikki's World so much, seriously, y'all, please hit that like, subscribe, please give me a review, good, bad, and the ugly. Also, guys, I do have a bunch of affiliate links. First off is Minds.com. Minds.com is a Connecticut-based social media platform. They are an awesome alternative to Facebook, guys. So if you guys value your right to freedom of speech like I do, and you guys want to be able to say stuff without fear of being blocked, suspended, or deplatformed, guys, well then, ladies and gentlemen, head on over to Minds.com. Also, guys, I do have the most awesome, and I mean the most awesome affiliate link with Byrna. Byrna is a less lethal self-defense company, guys. They make their top of the line Byrna SD, Byrna LE, TCR, Mission 4, and their newest, guys, their compact launcher, guys. So if you guys value your right to the Second Amendment, your right to self-defense, but you guys want to do it in a less lethal manner, guys, well then, head on over to Byrna.com. Also, guys, I do have the most awesome, and I mean the most awesome affiliate link with North Shore Medical Supply. North Shore Medical Supply is the top of the line diaper company. They make their Megamax diaper, their North Shore Supreme Pull Up, and their Eternal Boosters, guys. So if you know someone out there that needs to wear adult diapers, that needs to be put in adult diapers, well then, send them on over to my friends at North Shore Medical Supply. and they will make sure that they are diapered up as always. And before we get this show on the road, really, guys, if you guys love this episode and any of my other episodes on Nikki's World, seriously, y'all, can y'all please consider sharing this across all the social media platforms that are out there today? Wow. Oh, yeah. That was a mouthful. Oh, yeah. That was a mouthful. And yes, guys, I'm always diapered up as always. I'm in my North Shore Mega Max diapers with my Eternal boosters. And yes, I'm in my t shirt today because, well, I just got home from work and it was like a long, drawn out, dragged out day. So I'm here, home, showered and all, podcasting to y'all. So anyway, let's get going with the show, shall we? So we gotta talk about what's happening with this government shutdown. Okay, this government shutdown is not caused by the Republicans and the MAGA cult, okay? It's not caused by them. It's caused by the Democrats, especially the people who are behind this government shutdown. It's Bernie Sanders and AOC and the far left socialist, progressive, communist, liberal Democrats, along with Chucky Schumer as well. The reason why this government shutdown is going on is because the far left wants to fund their pet projects, including what? Paying for health insurance for illegal immigrants in this country. Okay? They want to force the taxpayers like you and me to pay for an illegal immigrant who illegally entered this country without permission for their health care, for their everything. And it's like, why should I be paying for that shit? Why should I, guys? Why should I? I shouldn't be. And I tell you why. I should never. I should never. But I'll tell you this. The one class that is up at arms over this shutdown is the welfare class in the Democrat Party. The welfare class in the Democrat Party is having a chimp out. They are having a freak out because come November 1st, if this government shutdown continues, ladies and gentlemen, they're never going to be able to get their food stamps, their Section 8, or their cash assistance. Yeah. So in about, let me see, about next week, if this government shutdown continues, they're gonna chimp out like no tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. The welfare class is going to chimp out like no tomorrow, all because the far left liberals want you to pay for the illegal immigrant class in this country. Seems to me, ladies and gentlemen, come November 1st, Chucky Schumer and the Democrats have put themselves in a corner, and there's going to be a bloodbath within the Democrat Party, okay? Between the welfare class, the illegals, the leftists, liberals, socialists, and communists, and progressive Democrats. There's going to be a bloodbath within the party because you know who's going to complain the most is the welfare class, because the welfare class is tied to the Democrat Party, ladies and gentlemen, and the welfare class has a lot at stake. Yeah, but here's the funny part of all this: the welfare class, when you look on X, when you look on TikTok and all that, they keep blaming the MAGA Republicans, the conservatives, and the Trump supporters. But what what they should be blaming is the Democrats, the far left, The liberals, the socialists, progressives, and communists. They're the ones that caused all this government shutdown because now they're pitting themselves in a class warfare fight between the welfare class and the illegal class, and the Democrats are trying to side with the illegal class more than they're siding with the welfare class. So it seems to me, ladies and gentlemen, Chuck Schumer has a bloodbath on his hands. Chuck Schumer, like, has put himself in a corner so badly, ladies and gentlemen, that I'm gonna tell you this: there is no way he's gonna survive this. And I've told this to many people. If this shutdown continues past November 2nd, you're gonna see the welfare class steal food at Walmart, like Stop and Shop or your local grocery store, because the far left liberals, the far left socialists, progressive, communist, Democrats would rather force you to pay health care for illegal immigrants. So basically, it's gonna pit themselves to a schism and a bloody feud within the two. But meanwhile, on the conservative, libertarian, Republican, MAGA, and independent class, we're okay with the shutdown. In fact, I'm okay with the government shutdown. At least we can cut all the all the Democrat pet projects. We can just say, nope, we're not paying for that. Nope, we're not paying for that. Nope, we're not paying for that. We're happy about that, man. But the welfare class of the Democrat Party, they're all up at arms saying, oh, if this government shutdown continues, how am I going to feed my family of six? How am I going to feed six kids? Or how am I going to be able to go to Walmart or blah, blah, blah? Here's my solution, ladies and gentlemen, to the welfare class. Learn to code, okay? Go and learn to code. Or better yet, get a part-time job, okay? Go and get a part-time job, whether at what? Amazon, Target, Walmart, UPS, FedEx, Starbucks, or any place else. Go get a part-time job. It's that simple. Yeah. But then these welfare class, they don't want to work. They want government handouts. They want to live like socialism, like how the Democrats have been promising them. They want to live like socialists, where the government gives them handouts, gives them everything, just so they don't have to work. Yeah, the Democrats have put themselves in a no-win situation because of this. They have. They're now pitting the welfare class against the illegal class, and who they want to defend more than anyone else. They really do, guys. They have put themselves in a corner so badly that there are Democrats out there who are saying if this shutdown continues, this is going to cost them in the midterm elections. And I'm telling you this right now, it's gonna be a bloodbath come midterm elections next year. The midterm, the midterm congressional elections is gonna be a bloodbath. It's gonna be a bloody massacre. And I'm gonna tell you this right now. Republicans, conservatives, MAGA, libertarians are gonna win by a fucking damn landslide. They are going to win so fucking badly because the Democrats can't seem to get their fucking act together, and they're having a bloodbath between the welfare class and the illegal class. So they're having the biggest bloodbath in human history, and this is all caused by Bernie Sanders, AOC, and Chuck Schumer. Three people who are responsible for the schism and the bloodbath that is going on in this country. Three people. Yeah. And I want to read you this article from the Hartford Current, okay? 360,000 Connecticut residents get food stamps. Why the government shutdown could take that away. And I'm going to read you the headline, the first two paragraphs of this article. As the federal government shutdown reached day 20 on Monday, state and federal officials are concerned that 360,000 Connecticut residents could lose their food stamp benefits starting November 1st. State officials are scrambling to find a way to fill the gap. If the federal government shuts off access to the supplemental nutrition assistance, formerly known as food stamps, the benefits are awarded on debit cards that are replenished monthly, and those cards will be cut off to stop the benefits, officials said. Yep, and here's the kicker. The food shutdown would have an impact on grocery stores that could lose an estimated 5 to 10% of their business, as nearly 10% of all state residents receive food stamps, officials said. Benefits vary based on size of family, but average monthly benefit per person is about $193 or $50 per week, officials said. Hey, that's good. As someone who works part-time, I work part-time, ladies and gentlemen, at Amazon. So I have at least a part-time job. Okay, I have a good part-time job. But I tell you this, as someone who works part-time, I have no fucking sympathies for these people. I have no sympathies. I say like this, these people who don't want to work, who want to live like socialists, like in socialist countries like that, where everybody else works, but they get to live this lavish lifestyle off the backs of the hard working class who get taxed to death to pay for these freeloaders. I got no sympathy for these people once November 1st comes. I got no sympathy if they lose their food stamps come November 1st. I got no sympathy because you know why? Should my tax dollars go to some freeloader or some moocher who doesn't work, who doesn't at least go to community college, trade school, or doesn't work part-time? I got no sympathy for these people. I got no sympathy. I sit there and go like this to these like EBT welfare class. You want to put food on the table? You want to put money on the table? Amazon, FedEx, UPS, Target, Walmart, Starbucks, Stop and Shop, Big Y. You know what I mean? Big Y or Aldi or let me see, what's the other one? Macy's. They're all hiring. They're all looking. Come on, welfare class. You say on shit talk that oh the government's going to cut my food stamps. The government's going to cut this. Why don't you go work part time? I got no sympathy if you lose your food stamps come November. I got no sympathy. I really don't. I don't have any sympathy. You want sympathy? Over that mountain over there, past the quarry, past my top secret fishing ground, that's where you go find sympathy. That's where you go. But I got no sympathy come November 1st. If you lose your food stamp and if you decide to chimp out and go steal food at Walmart or whatever, I got no sympathy. I'm gonna let the legal system deal with y'all the way they do. But I got no sympathy. But I'm gonna say it like this: where I work at part time at Amazon, we're always hiring. We're always looking. Hell, we even pay enough for people to live comfortably. Yeah, we even pay enough for people to live comfortably in society. We really do. But I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you, I have no sympathy for people. I have no sympathy for the welfare class. The welfare class can chimp out for all I care because I'm going to tell you this, that's entertainment for me. That's entertainment for me to watch them chimp out on shit talk, on X, on social media, crying, hooting, hollering that they can't live the welfare lifestyle. They can't live the freeloading lifestyle. Oh, they can't like live off of this and this and this. That's free entertainment for me, folks. That's free entertainment. But the fact of the matter is, guys, these people want to chimp out because Chucky Schumer, AOC, and Bernie Sanders caused this shutdown because they want to pay for the illegal immigrant class. I'm gonna say like this to the welfare socialist class. Your anger is misdirected towards the MAGA. It's not our problem. You need to go blame and yell at AOC, Chucky Schumer, and Bernie Sanders. They're the ones that caused the shutdown because they want to pander to the illegal immigration class. I don't see the welfare class complaining about that. Oh, wait, because the Democrats keep giving them free stuff to shut them up. Or they give them free stuff so they don't think or they don't see what's actually happening. Yeah. But I'm just going to say this, guys. I'm just going to say this. The welfare class, when their chimp out is happening, I'm gonna be sitting there with my beer, popcorn, and watching the shit show go all down. hmm I'm just gonna watch them have a chimp out because I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this. As someone who works part time, I got no sympathies for these people. These people who cry and complain about losing their Section 8, their food stamps, their their like cash assistance or their medical assistance, all because they want to live the socialist lifestyle that the left, the liberals, the progressive, the communists, and the Democrats have promised them. But then come to find out that they've been sold out, so they don't see the fact that they're helping the illegal class more than the welfare class. Telling you guys, telling you, I got no sympathies as I'm here in my diaper and t-shirt and podcasting to y'all. I got no sympathies to these people. I got none. None. I tell you this, there are companies right now, because of the holidays coming up, they're looking to hire people. So I'm gonna say like this to the welfare class. You want to chimp out because you're not going to get your welfare covered, your Section 8, and this and blah, 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 because you want to live the socialist lifestyle, the freeloader lifestyle off the backs of taxpayers and hardworking people. I'm going to be like this. Not my problem. Not my problem if you chimp out on November 1st when if this government shutdown continues. Not my problem because I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna be working my ass. I'm gonna be working my ass. I'm gonna be making some decent money. Yeah, I'm gonna be making some decent cash. Hell, I know people at an Amazon fulfillment facility who make enough money to live so comfortably. Okay, that some of them are even supporting their family members because they work like what 10-hour shifts 4 days a week. Yeah, but to the welfare class, working part time is too much for these people, I'm gonna be like, don't come, don't come crying, don't come complaining when you get a letter in the mail from your state social services saying, due to the government shutdown in Washington D.C., we can't pay your food stamps, your Section 8, and all that, but we can give you medical care. I'm gonna be like this. You want your food stamps, you want your Section 8, you want your housing covered? Amazon's waiting for you. Target, Walmart, Starbucks, FedEx, UPS, they're all waiting. They're all waiting. They want to hire. They want to hire people. They want to hire. They're willing to pay you $21 an hour, 21 plus bucks an hour just to work there. Tell you, you wanna you wanna live your lifestyle like this? You wanna still have your like what? Your welfare, your Section E, your this and this and this. They're saying part-time job. Yeah, go work part time, or go to school. Hell, where I work at Amazon, they have their own IT school. You can even get paid to go learn to code or learn to fix, maintain, and repair the robotics or their AWS. Yeah, you could go do that, but I see a lot of the I see a lot of the welfare class on shit talk having a fucking freaking nuclear meltdown and chimp out over the fact that they're gonna lose their precious welfare, their precious food stamps, their precious Section 8 dilapidated apartment. Yeah, because the far left liberals in the Democrat Party that is run by what? AOC, Chucky Schumer, and Bernie Sanders, who all want to give free health care to illegal immigrants over their welfare class. And they want to force taxpayers like you, me, and everyone to fund it. I go like this. Not my problem if the government shut down. If the government shuts down, not my problem. Not my problem, ladies and gentlemen. If the government shutdown continues past November, I'm gonna see the world's biggest chimp out on social media history. You're gonna see the far left have a chimp out like no tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. You're gonna see them like have a breakout, have a mental breakdown like no tomorrow. You're gonna see that, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this. They're gonna hoot, holler, complain, have a temper tantrum, and melt down on shit talk, on YouTube, on Facebook, on X, and it's going to be glorious to watch because now the welfare class is going to have a rude awakening, have a reality gut check. Okay, they're going to have a gut check to their stomach that, wow, I'm going to have to go work part time. I'm going to have to finally do a part time job or work a part time gig just to be able to afford my socialist lifestyle. Well, yeah, we've been forcing that on you. We're not forcing you to go work full time, 40 hours a week. You can work part time. Some jobs even let you work like what, 20 or 30 hours a week? Yeah, you make decent money. I know I know people that work at Amazon fulfillment facilities. They work 10-hour shifts. 4 days a week. 10-hour shifts, 4 days a week. That's like what? 40 hours right there? Yeah. And then come holidays, there's overtime. They make like 5 days a week. Yeah. So they make bank. They make enough to live comfortably. But meanwhile, you have these socialist freeloaders who don't even want to work, who don't even want to go to school, who don't even want to go to trade school, but then they want to live off the mood like of everyone else. They want to live off of you, me, and everyone else who have to pay for these freeloaders through like absorbent taxes. Fuck that shit. It's like, fuck that. Yeah, fuck that shit. We're not paying for that. We're not. And I'm telling you this, we are never ever paying for that. We're never. Some of them who what, been on welfare for decades, refuse to go to work, refuse to go to school, have so many kids. We're not paying for that. We're not funding that. I'm telling you this right now. We're not funding that. Mm-mm. But I will say this: if they decide to have their chimp out, or freak out, or they decide to go steal food at Walmart after November 1st, I'm gonna go like this. Not my problem. They can deal with the consequences, and they can learn a little thing called responsibility and accountability. They can learn that real quick when they're sitting in jail and in county jail in some places, all because they can't get food stamps, okay? All because of the government shutdown caused by their own Democrat Party, because the Democrats would rather side with illegal immigrants than their own welfare class. Or, as we see it from the other side, they're ditching the welfare class for the illegal class. I wonder how the welfare class feels when they find out that they're being thrown in the gutter and protecting the illegal class. I wonder how they feel when they find out that the Democrats are throwing them in the sideline and in the gutter and saying, "Oh no, we don't want to play with you. We're just protecting the illegal immigrants who cross the border illegally, criminally, and without permission than the freeloader welfare class." I go like this, and I've said this many times on social media. The bloodbath is going to be bloody. It is going to be a drawn out, fucking ugly mess. It is going to be so brutal that I don't think the Democrats will be able to survive the midterm elections. I don't think they'll ever win seats. And I'm going to say this: the Democrats that are up for re-election during the midterm elections next year, they're in serious trouble, because they know if their party continues with this government shutdown that causes their welfare class to lose their food stamps, Section 8, their cash benefits, and all that, there's a bloody feud that is about to get nasty. There's a bloodbath that is going to be so bad, so nasty, so ugly that the Democrats will never ever recover from, and this will give libertarians, Republicans, conservative, MAGA, and independent a quick slide by as they win seats in Congress. And I'm telling you, when that happens, guys, and you guys can flag it and mark it, okay, on October 22nd, 2025, that if this comes to fruition, you're going to see a libertarian, conservative, Republican, MAGA, an independent majority in Congress. And you're going to see the Democrats become the smallest, and I mean the smallest minority party. So small that they won't even have a blip. They won't even be able to speak their shit without making a fart sound. They won't. But I will tell you this, if this government shutdown continues, you know the welfare class and the illegal class, it's gonna be like a let's get ready to rumble, ladies and gentlemen. It's gonna be a WrestleMania fight, and it's gonna be like a what? A four-way corner fight where you have in one corner a welfare class, and the other corner the illegal immigration class, and in this corner Chucky Schumer of the Senate Democrats, and in this corner you have the far left radical Democrats on the House of Representatives by AOC and Bernie Sanders. And you know when the bell rings, ooh, it's gonna be a bloody fight. It's gonna be so bloody. I'm telling you right now, there are independents, MAGA, libertarians, conservatives, and Republicans who are all going like this. Let me get the popcorn. Let me get the popcorn. I want to. I need to see to watch the bloodbath. Because I'm telling you right now, the bloodbath is gonna get ugly. It is, and Chucky Schumer knows it. That's why Chucky Schumer is scared shit to stand up to AOC and the far left Democrats or Bernie Sanders. They know they're scared. They know they're scared shit, and they are scared, and he's scared out of his ass. He's scared because he was told to do the shutdown by AOC and Bernie Sanders. AOC and Bernie Sanders said straight up to Chucky Schumer, if you don't shut down the government, you're gonna have a bloodbath on your hands. Yeah, because here's the thing: the far left Democrats in Congress want you, me, and everyone to pay health care for the illegal immigration class. They really do. But I'm just going to say like this. I'm just going to say like this. Keep the shutdown going. Keep the shutdown going. We can cut their pet projects right then and there, or we can foster it right onto the states and say like this. Say like this to the states. Here you go. You have at it. We're not dealing with it. You have at it. There you go. Yeah. But I'm going to tell you this right now, guys. If this shutdown continues past November 1st, you're going to see a bloodbath like no tomorrow. And that bloodbath is going to get bloody in a heartbeat because their welfare class that the Democrats have been paying, have been giving to them for decades, okay, is now coming to fruition because they're going to chimp out over the fact that they caused the government shutdown to pander and pay for the illegal class and to force people to pay for their health care. Telling you guys, the bloodbath is coming and it's going to get bloody. And reading the tea leaves, watching shit talk, X, and all the social media platforms, you know there's going to be a chimp out. And that chimp out is going to be bloody in a heartbeat. And I'm telling you right now, guys, it is going to be bloody in a heartbeat. All right. But anyway, I want to talk about this article that came from my state's news agency, NBC Connecticut, and I want to talk about this. And this kind of give me a reason why, because I've been saying this for a long time. I don't trust whatever, like, the liberal social media platforms of, like, what, Blue Sky, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Don't trust them, because either you like something or you post something they don't like, they shut your ass down. They block, suspend, and deplatform you. Well, I'm going to read you this article from NBC Connecticut. Okay, user says Instagram and Facebook accounts wrongfully closed for child exploitation. Okay, and I'm going to read you the headline. Mitchell Boyer is a competitive climber from Glastonbury, Connecticut, who goes head to head with other athletes around the world. But he wasn't able to share his biggest accomplishment of placing seventh fastest in the world in Finland, because his Instagram account had been shut down a few days prior. And I'll read you what he quotes. It's not just a social outlet, it's also a lifeline for us, Clarissa Boyer, Mitchell's mom said. They have sponsorships on. We are counting on people to support us through this channel. It's devastating. Here's the thing. Instagram and Facebook, which are owned by Facebook and owned by Mark Zuckerberg, who I don't even trust with my life, even if he was the last fucking human being on this earth, I wouldn't even trust him. I would just toss him to the zombies and let him deal with it. Let him deal with them. Yeah, I wouldn't even trust him. But here's the thing. Facebook and which owns Instagram, they will shut people's accounts on any accusation of either, like, accusing you of being a fraudulent account, or accusing you of being this or this and this, without any evidence whatsoever. And they'll say, well, you could try to appeal, but we're going to block and deny it. We're going to block and deny it. Yeah. This is why I tell people, ladies and gentlemen, and I tell people this: y'all should have a backup on alternative social media platforms. Why do you think like this? Why do you think I don't rely on X, YouTube, and Instagram? I don't rely on those that often, because you know why? Those platforms, even though I pay a subscription to X to have all these upgraded features and all this, and support and backup and legitimacy. I tell people like this: I don't trust that platform. I don't trust it, because I tell you this, I could be blocked, suspended, and deplatformed for for any of their illegitimate reasons, or without justification. But this story from NBC Connecticut highlights a reason why I have alternative social media platforms, why I'm on Gab, Getter, Minds, Parlor, Rumble, Truth Social, Vero Social, why I'm on all the 7 alternative social media platforms. It's because if Instagram decides to take me out for any illegitimate reasons, or even though if I didn't do anything wrong, and they decide to take me out, I don't cry and complain like Mitchell here does, like Mitchell Boyer. I don't cry and complain about it. I don't. I have alternative social media platforms. I'll give you an example. I have I have 3 accounts on Instagram, one primary and 2 backup. Okay, the 2 are my like backups, just in case if my primary gets taken out. I have that. I have that. Plus, I also have a 4th backup. You know what's my 4th backup? On Vero Social. Vero Social is Instagram's alternative. Is the alternative to Instagram. That's my backup. Okay, that's my backup in case if Instagram, which is owned by Facebook, decides to one day take my shit out for something that they accuse me of doing that I didn't do. Yeah, that's why. I'll give you an example. That happened to me in December last year when Instagram decided when Meta this accused me of being a fraudulent account, okay, kicking me off of like Instagram and Facebook, accusing me of being a fraudulent account, and I tried to appeal it by saying, what action did I do that is fraudulent? Didn't do anything. They simply made an accusation, didn't show me didn't show me any evidence that I committed any fraud on there. Didn't show any. They just simply cut me off, cut my access, cut everything. They simply blocked me. Yeah. And this is why, ladies and gentlemen, when I this is why it's like this. I tell people, this is why. And here's the thing. When they cut me off, I tried to fight it, tried to appeal it. They wouldn't let me back on Facebook. They let me back on Instagram, had to create 3 Instagram accounts, 1 primary and 2 backup. Yeah, had to do that. But then I have Vero Social, which all my photo shoots are backed up on. Yeah, yeah. But this is why, ladies and gentlemen, I always tell people have backups on alternative social media platforms. That's why alternative social media platforms exist. Because I have multiple backups, multiple places where you can get a hold of me, chat with me, or talk with me. I have multiple backups. And the multiple backups that I have, guys, okay, the multiple backups that I have are like my insurance policy. And if you want me to equate this, think of it like a car, like an insurance for your car. So if something happens to your car, your insurance covers it. Same thing with my main social media sites like what Instagram, YouTube, and X. If something happens to those 3, I have backups on alternative social media platforms. I have a way to continue. I have a way to even be able to talk to people, to be able to communicate, or to be able to post. Yeah, that's why I'm on the 7 alternative social media platforms, well, including Blue Sky. So I'm on there too. But that's why I tell people I have alternatives. I am what some people call the uncancelable, or people who are hard to cancel. Because let's just say if they try to cancel me off of X, Instagram, or YouTube, or Blue Sky, I just tell people like this. I'm on my alternative social media platforms. I'm on what? Gab, MeWe, Minds, Getter, Parler, Rumble, Truth Social, and Vero Social. Eight alternative social media platforms that act as my backup for the primary ones. Yeah, I'll give you an example. Because I'm not on Facebook anymore since December, you want to know what's my alternative to Facebook? MeWe and Minds. MeWe and Minds is my alternative to Facebook. It is my backup. It is like my now primary alternative to Facebook. I don't even use Facebook since December last year, and now my Facebook is MeWe and Minds. Yeah, and this is why I always tell people, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys want to talk to me on my alternative social media platforms, you guys can come to the free speech alternative on Gab, MeWe, Minds, Getter, Parler, Rumble, Truth Social, and Vero Social. Yeah, that's where I'm at. And also, Vero Social acts as my backup for Instagram. And I've been telling a lot of photographers, a lot of models that have a backup on Vero Social, because if they decide to take you out on Instagram and you have no recourse, no way of fighting back or trying to get your account back, Vero Social is your backup, is your alternative, is your basically like this. It's your way of having multiple layer backups in case of something happens. Really does. But this is why I tell people I'm not afraid if Instagram tries to take a shot at me again, or Meta tries to take a shot at me again. I'm not afraid, because you know why? I tell people Vero Social is my backup. It is my insurance policy. And I always back up my pictures on Vero Social. I always do, guys. So I'm not like gonna hoot, holler, cry like Mitchell Boyer. I'm not. But from what I heard, Mitchell Boyer got his Facebook and Instagram back. Good for him. But for me, I only got my Instagram back, but I never got my Facebook back. But I tell people like this: I have my alternative social media platforms. Why do you think I'm on? Why do you think I'm on Minds? Minds is a Connecticut-based social media platform. They're an awesome alternative to Facebook. I tell people, and I say this all the time on my show, I support Minds because Minds is a Connecticut-based company. And Minds is a Connecticut-based alternative to Facebook. So to me, I'm not worried. I'm not worried. But why I talk about this is quite simple. It reminds me of why I have alternative social media platforms. It's a reminder of why alternative social media platforms are the best way to go. Why they become my backup, my insurance policy. Why they become my in case of if I take a hit, you can follow me on all my other alternative platforms. hmm But I will say this. I will say this, guys. I implore you to have alternatives, have a backup, because you never know. Something happens. There could be many situations where the main social media sites, like say Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or X, decide to go down for some reason. Okay, how are you going to communicate with the world? I have alternative social media as a backup. I have all my alternative social media platforms as in case of emergency, hit glass, boom, and go at it. Yeah, that's why I tell people like this. I cross post all the time on all my alternative social media platforms. Say, for example, I post something on X. I cross post it on all my alternatives like Gab, Getter, Parlor, okay, and Truth Social and Blue Sky. I cross post on that just so if something happens, I have a backup and I keep running and going. I really do, guys. I really do. But I will say this, guys, before we end the show for today, always have backups. Always have multiple layers of backups. Because God forbid, ladies and gentlemen, God forbid if anything happens, okay? God forbid if something happens to your social media site. And I know some people have a business on social media, like on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I know some people have businesses on it. God forbid if something happens, have an alternative, have a backup, okay? Or even I tell people like this for insurance policy, I have a blog. I have a blog slash website on WordPress. I have that. That acts as my ultimate fail safe backup. That really does. Yeah, it really does. It becomes my fail safe. It becomes my like oh damn. It becomes my just in case of emergency type shit. Really does. But that's why I tell people many times, guys, have your backup. Have your emergency plan. You know how like people who say have prepare an emergency kit in case of hurricanes or this and this and this. This is my message to y'all. Have your emergency kit for when your main social media sites get taken out for some reason. Yeah, that's why I have an account on all my alternative social media platforms. I really do. And to me, they've become my best backup in the world. And which is why I'm not afraid if I get taken out on Instagram, YouTube, you know, I'm not afraid. And I tell you this one kicker, guys, all my podcast episodes that are syndicated on YouTube are also backed up on Rumble. They're backed up on Rumble because, let's say, for example, I talk about something that YouTube doesn't like and you put a strike on me. It's still backed up on Rumble. It's still there, even though YouTube won't show it, but they'll show it on Rumble.com. Yeah. So I've in fact become hard to cancel, uncancelable. I really have. I really have, guys. So anyway, I I want to say this before we end the show for today. Always have a plan. Always have backups. Always be prepared for when shit hits the fucking fan. You're not worried. That's why I have WordPress. Yeah, WordPress is my ultimate backup, guys. Tell you guys, WordPress is my ultimate backup. It really is. It really, really is. Yeah. So that's why, guys, prepare for in case of things go bad. Prepare. Really do. Really. Wow. Wow, guys, that was a good long show. That was. This is the first time I probably did a good long show in a while. Yeah. And I know I want to say like this. The reason why I hadn't podcast twice a week lately, I know last week I've come down with a stomach bug, and that stomach bug was a pain in the ass to deal with. I mean, last week I was throwing up like 3 times, and it was like god awful, and that's why I couldn't podcast as much as often. I was dealing with that. I was dealing with a stomach bug and all that. It was like, it was like, it was like god awful ugly. It was, yeah, it was. But at least at least I'm back to normal. And I know next month I have foot surgery because I have hammer toe that I have to deal with, and that's going to be painful as hell. So that's going to be a painful experience to deal with. So that's something that I'm going to be dealing with. And then as a result of that hammer toe surgery, I know I'm going to be away from modeling for a month or two as I recover from the hammer toe surgery. But once that surgery is all healed, I'm back to normal. I'm back to doing all this, and this. Yeah. So I'll be back to totally normal, back to doing the normal shit and everything. Yeah. I'm really hoping. But anyway, I want to thank you guys for listening to Nikki's World. I'm Nikki, your host. I will see y'all soon. Bye for now.
You just listened to an episode of Nikki's World. Thanks for listening. We'll see y'all soon. Bye for now.